Hi, little one. Welcome to Adventures with Grandma Bonnie. It's so good to see you. Today, I'm going to read you a story that I wrote, and I call it Hairy and Scary, and it's the Halloween I will never forget. It's based on a true story here. Many years ago, when I was a young mother and my 4 children were quite small, we lived in a very special place. It was almost magical. On a clear night, you could count 1,000,000 stars if you could count that high. Since we lived at the very top of a high mountain ridge, there was a spectacular view of the city lights below. But if you gazed in our sky, in the stars, there were like blankets covering our shoulders. You might call our home a cabin, since it was made of all wood and nestled in the forest. Surrounded by tall green pine trees and lush vegetation, it was home to many creatures, both large and small. It was the night before Halloween, on our very first Halloween, living in our cabin. And it was so warm and cozy in the mountains there, inside the cabin. The kids were all excited about going trick-or-treating in our new neighborhood. There were quite a few cabins on the street, so possibly filling their bags with candy looked pretty good. So the night before Halloween, the sky turned dark and cloudy, just as we were sitting down for dinner. Soon big white snowflakes began to fall. It was the first snowfall of the season and so exciting for all of us. Mother Nature put on quite a show for us that night, and it was peaceful and quiet as can be. The kids sat in awe as big fluffy snowflakes continued to fall until their bedtime. Apparently it fell all night, and the next morning we woke up to a white winterland. All the trees were covered in a blanket of snow. Bright sunshine and deep blue sky made everything sparkle. It was so bright you had to wear your sunglasses to protect you from the glare. You could hear the excitement in the children's voices as they gazed through the window with their noses pressed against the cold glass. As the day progressed, our first snow began to melt, and a huge snowplow came roaring down our little street, pushing the snow off to the side, creating a berm about a foot high. Do you know what a berm is? It's a pile of snow, usually. Once the street was cleared of snow and the bright warm sunshine started melting all the collective snow, the street became more like a river as water flowed down the road. Later, it became obvious that we needed to wear our waterproof boots to walk down the road. But we knew a little water wasn't going to stop us from going trick-or-treating. Would that stop you? No. Water, no. Since I had a little one in a baby stroller, the plan was for me to take the kids, all of the kids, even the baby, in the stroller around the neighborhood while my husband handed out goodies at home. The moon was full that night, but with a flashlight in hand and kids all bundled up and dressed in different costumes, set off for a new adventure. Just before we left the house, the kids wanted to carry cloth pillowcases in hopes they would collect a huge amount of goodies. Candy and popcorn were one of their favorites. As a mother wanting to teach her kids good manners and not be greedy, I put my foot down and said no. I suggested a lunch-size paper bag would do. We obviously didn't have much of a selection of Halloween treat containers at the local store in our little village, so we had to use what we had. We ended up with brown paper grocery bags. Despite their protest, I stood my ground, and they accepted that I knew best. Off we went into the dark night. I led the way as I pushed the stroller up over the piles of snow the snowplow had made that morning. Since the snowmelt had caused a small runoff of water where we were walking, everyone's boots got wet. What I didn't know was that other things were getting wet, including the paper bags. As the kids walked along, they must have gotten the bottoms of the bags wet, and much of the candy they had collected had dropped out. Soon we heard a strange noise nearby. It seemed like something was following us. My flashlight wasn't bright enough to quite see where all the noise was coming from. Then we heard a low rumble, or was it a growl? It was so dark we couldn't see. It was scary not knowing what that sound was, but we were pretty sure it wasn't anything good. We hurried back as fast as we could to our warm and safe house. Better to be safe than sorry is my motto. Once we got into the warm house and gathered around our kitchen table to dump all the goodies out, we were surprised. Most of the bags were almost empty and had holes ripped in the bottom, which allowed the candy to fall out. One by one, the kids started to cry. They were so disappointed that they lost so much of their candy. Tears fell from their eyes as they looked at me in a sad way. Aw. It was obvious that this mother of theirs didn't always know what was best. After all, it was my idea to use those paper bags. Just then we heard a strange noise out the door. Looking out the window, I saw a large black bear looking back at us. He had a piece of chocolate candy in his mouth as he was trying to get in the house, scratching at the door looking for more. He was being greedy, wasn't he? It seemed that the bear had been following our trail of candy all through the neighborhood. That must have been the noise we heard. Rummaging through the kitchen cabinets, we found our old pots and pans. We banged them together to scare him away, and soon everything was quiet outside. Looking around at all my children's sad faces and knowing they had no candy, I did the only thing I could think of. With caution, I went outside to the car and jumped in. With no bear in sight, I drove off. Our little village grocery store was about 3 miles away, and I arrived just before they were about to close. Luckily, there was still a pretty good selection of candy left on the shelves, so I bought a bunch of yummy treats for the kids. Upon arriving home and dumping all the treats on the table, my children had the biggest smiles on their faces. After many thanks for the goodies, they started telling each other their version of the most exciting Halloween night they had ever had. Believe me, it was one I will never forget. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. Have a safe trick-or-treat night. I hope you liked the video. I certainly hope you have a good trick-or-treat night. But please watch it and put a big thumbs up on the like button to tell everybody else how much fun it was. Don't forget to watch it all the way to the end. Take care now. See you soon. Bye-bye.